Now, in the starting lineup for the visiting team, number 2, James Hutton. Number 4, Ethan Culberson. Number 7, Caleb Rennie. 13, Colby McIntosh. Number 15, Marquil the year last year, Luca Reno Del Bosco. And now, the starting lineup for your Madhouse Phenomenon. Number 1, Simba Bora Jr.
Welcome back, fans, for this tip-off of Game 2 of today's doubleheader here from Mount Allison University in Sackville, New Brunswick on ACAA.TV. I'm Dave Tingley, class of 99 here at Mount A on the call for you for Game 2. And we're about to tip here. It's Ryan Norris against Luca Del Bosco. Smart play by Simba Bora Jr. stepping in and grabbing that one, and it's going to be an and one to start. Mr. Boar Jr. missed the first game of the season with an injury, and look at that return to the lineup. The anticipation there of that tip, he knew Luca Del Bosco held an advantage. He stepped right in front of it and went coast to coast. And on the foul, and it's an and one to start things off. And the numbers for the Chargers are off here, fans, from the list. So I'll bear with me for a second while I figure it out. That was Rennie, number 10. He's number 7 on our charts here, and a good hustle play to start from Mount A defensively. Norris back to Boara. Boara, he gets all the way into the key, and the step back can't finish. Rebound there by Del Bosco. This starting lineup for Crandall, arguably the best in the league. Air ball from the corner from Rennie. That's the shot you want him taking. He's dangerous at all 3 levels, but you want him taking the 3. Mumberket short on a 3, and they will push. Miss there. Rebounded by Del Bosco, doing what he does best, and that was Culberson, I believe, on the road. Yeah, okay, we're going to get the numbers correct here on our sheet from the ACAA, where we don't have correct numbers on, but that was Culberson on the miss, rebounded by Del Bosco. He misses that first free throw. So like I say, this starting lineup for Crandall, arguably the best in the ACAA, but not as deep. Arguably Mount A runs a little deeper. Now, one thing you know about Coach McKillop and his staff is they're going to develop guys. And the reason you know that is when you look at players like Culberson and like McIntosh, the 2 youngsters from smaller schools, one Heartland, one Florenceville, in small town New Brunswick. Brought him in, both in their, Ethan's in his 4th year, and Colby also, so both in their 4th year. Their first year certainly didn't see a lot of time. Gradually, bit by bit, they became, I think they're straightening out the numbers here with this, so that I don't think the desk has the correct numbers for the uniforms either for Crandall. So we're not the only ones up here, so they're straightening that out before things go any further. And the man, the legend, Ian Allen, down there taking care of me, making sure the numbers that I've got up here are right for us. So Crandall coming in 1-0, 1-point victory last weekend over Holland in a tight one at home. Mount A also a tight one last weekend. The next day against that same Holland team. Played a splendid second half, but it wasn't enough. A loss 84-81 put them at 0-1. But certainly things to build on coming off a rough season last year in Mount A, coming off the national semifinals appearance 2 years ago in this gym. So Del Bosco now up for his second shot. That one goes. Chris Hager running the point for the Mounties. Showed off well early in the exhibition season at the point, then missed some games. And Mount A does not like the footwork of Boara Jr. I think he's traveled a couple times, but he got away with it if he did. I do agree, actually, with Coach McKillop. That's twice on the catch that he has. Looks to me like he's traveled. So physical there, work by Hutton to come out and get that ball. Mount A really stretching themselves defensively. Hutton on the attack. He's going to reverse it. No good. Monroe on the attack now. Got numbers. Good recovery from Crandall. Kick to Hager. Hager in the corner to Monroe. Monroe's going to pop a corner three. Oh, just a little bit short. Good box out there by Del Bosco on Mumberket, enabling Hutton to grab it. Getting to his left is Rennie. You can't let him get to his left. Almost stole the inbounds. Did Culberson. Nowadays got some numbers. Mumberket on the move. Gets blocked by Del Bosco. Kick out. 3 up. No good from Boara. But he follows his own miss, and Mumberket found him. And Simba, Boara Jr. with a quick 7. And he leads the game all by himself. 7-3 here early. 7:29 clock running first quarter. The rivalry game, the Chargers, the Mounties. The 506 battle here, the Southern 506. Oh, they're going to call a kick there. That's a good call on Boara. The kick save on the attempted Rennie pass. So we talked about Rennie. He's a good addition here from Kings. Really makes this starting lineup terrific. Del Bosco, he's going to attack. He squeezes through and 1. Luca Del Bosco, the second-team All-Star in the ACAA last year in his first season. He is dangerous. He's an undersized big, but he plays so physical and has a lot of skill. Squeezed through a small area there on the bounce. As Mr. Allen returns to me with the correct numbers. And we are good to go. Norris with that perfect lead pass to Monroe, yeah. And that's the right call. I know they waited, and I don't think Coach McKillop's going to like the fact that the referees waited to see if that ball went in. And people think that's a negative thing, waiting to see that ball went in. Well, it's not. As a referee explained to me this summer in a very interesting conversation we had, a very clear manner, he said, look, we see it. It's a very, very close call. And if it goes in, we just call it even and say it's a good finish. And if it doesn't go in, then a lot of times we'll blow that whistle and give him 2 shots because it's tight and could be even. Monroe missed both free throws and then compounded the error by committing the foul. He knew he'd missed it right away and got to jump off the line. Joe knows he's got to stay on that line and finish that shot with confidence. Now Mount A here sitting back in a bit of a zone. Yeah, that backdoor look was never going to get there. Hagar with a nice pinch. He skates all the way to the hoop, can't finish with the left hand, and Del Bosco cleans it and runs. Leads McIntosh, the block by Ryan Norris. The rebound by Del Bosco, his hands are super active. He's got the quickest first, second, and third jump in the league, does Del Bosco. He's off those pins so fast. And the pass on that's a nice cut by Hutton. Crandall, the best cutting team, I think, in the league. They get a lot of looks, just making intelligent, timely cuts. Hagar sweeps it through, can't finish. Norris picks off that pass, gets it right back to him, and he's going to finish. Smart play by Ryan Norris. Read that outlet pass, stepped right in front of it, left it for his guy, and Hagar able to finish. Hager, pardon me. Rennie, he's left open. He's going to pop it, and he makes it. Yeah, you want him shooting that one, but you definitely want some pressure on him. If you're going to leave him just standing still to get his feet set and shoot, he'll make it. Handoff to Monroe. Monroe's going to pop another three. No good. Del Bosco, another rebound. 5 or 6 already for him. We're not even halfway into the first quarter. Hutton uses that screen. Met by Norris nicely. Ryan, a terrific defender in addition to being one of the best shooters in the ACAA. Gets that pass through. Monroe cuts off. Hutton going baseline. Tough getting anything against this zone right now for the Chargers, and Rennie banks in a three. Yeah, no pictures on the score sheet. Norris, he's going to pop a three. Right back goes Ryan Norris. Jack Frost heating things up here in the first quarter. A 1-point lead again for the Chargers. Culbertson now. Rennie, high post. McIntosh can't leave him there, but you also can't let the rebound come through to Del Bosco again. But he wasn't able to corral that one. Jonas Monroe was, and here comes that man again, Boar Jr., but this time he loses it. Wanted a foul, didn't get it. Now Hutton going to attack Mumbercat. Finishes around him. Nice finish from Dave Hutton. 3-point lead again. Yeah, they're going to call that a block, and that's a good call. Coach Todd McKillop's not going to like that one either. I think it's a good one. Yeah. I mean, the contact might have been outside the circle, though. But again, just like that the play in the girls' game, he leaned into him with the forearm, but he didn't ward him off. So I think that was the difference. And he wasn't set. I think it's the right call. I'll eat my words if I go back and watch it. I'm sure I'll get a text from McKillop here in about 3 days going, "Are you crazy?" I always like those. I always like the text 3 days later going, "Oh, you." Again, another miss from the line for the Mounties. Haven't started off well from the charity stripe so far. Hager was complaining about an early entry. Just finish the shot is my advice on that one. Hutton curls around, pops a three, no good. There's Norris skying for the rebound, knocked out of his hands by Jaden Lucas, new onto the floor for Crandall. Crandall searching for production from their bench. And Bryson Clark also into the game. Or pardon me, Jaden Johnson, for Crandall. Mumbercat wanted to cram one on somebody. They didn't get it, but Hager out to Norris. Jack Frost turns up the heat a little more. 3 points for the Mounties, and they take their first lead, 17-15. Lucas now pulls up, pops a three, good. Foot on the line, that's a two, long two. Ties the score. Nope, they are calling to the three, pardon me. Looked like they did not signal the three, but the lead is now one again for the Chargers. Norris, 2 for 2 from behind the arc. They're going to jump that one. Goes behind the back. Yeah, a little over dribble in there for Norris, but it is going to stay with the Chargers. Ryan Norris last weekend, terrific outing here in the loss to Holland. Showed off his three-point shooting prowess and his ability to get to the basket. That would be his weakness still, though, I think. When he gets some pressure on the wing, sometimes he tends to over-dribble, right? Like through two guys or through some pressure when you should pick it up, get rid of it, relocate, get it back. But he's come a long way. Last year was a bit of a struggle for him, but this year he's looked a lot better. And he was terrific in his freshman season during the run to the national semifinals, as Deverex is going to check in here for Hager, who had a good start to his first game back. Missed a couple of bunnies, but he's getting 2 feet in the paint. That's a good place to start. And a young guy with his size at the point, always welcome. Inbounds to Mumberket. Deverex blasts and receives it. Back to Mumberket. Oh, and they're going to call the offensive foul, or are they going to call it defensive? Oh, they're going to call it on Mumberket. I don't necessarily agree. He was just, looked like he was squaring up, but, you know, and I don't know. Looked like he was squaring up, and Rennie's, you know, nose was in the way of his, of ripping the ball through. I don't know. I wouldn't know how to coach my guy to how to do it any differently on that one. So Rennie comes to the ball. Monroe plays him perfectly. Misses it from 3. There comes Crandall. Even when you squeeze it, they're going to come after that ball. You can't dribble the ball out of a crowd in the paint against Crandall. They send everybody to the glass, and if you don't put it away, they're taking it from you. So Mounties really got to be strong with that ball off those rebounds. And didn't mention also into the game Jackson Wark for the Mounties, really their best player in the second half, really from buzzer to buzzer last weekend. Burst of energy when he came in the game. Terrific defensively. Scored the ball for them from all 3 levels. It's just a terrific game for them. Now he's faced with the task of taking Rennie in the post. Stays solid. Rennie, though, finds Clark at the top of the key. No good. Rennie knocks it out of bounds, and it's going to go back to the Mounties. See, it's going to be a battle on the defensive glass all game for the Mounties. They got size on the wings. They got Deverex. They got Joe. They got Mumberket. They got Ryan Norris. They got Gay Powder. They got all kinds of size on the wings, but they don't have a lot of size up front. As Joe Monroe pops another 3, no good. There's Ryan Norris on the rebound. Tried to find a streaking Norris, but Rennie did a good job getting his hands up, reading that one. Took it away. He's being watched again by Wark. Wark playing him super physical. Del Bosco, more physical defense from the Mounties. Deverex doing a good job on Johnson. Johnson, though, scooping it around the outstretched arm of Deverex and getting it to go. Lovely finish, difficult finish. Deverex on the attack, finds Wark. That was Monroe. Out to Deverex now. Deverex to Monroe. Monroe on the attack. He's going to go, he stepped out of bounds first. Good attack from Monroe. I like that attack. Joe started off a little passive last week to a couple of early jumpers. But in the second half, he was in attack mode, and he was terrific in that second half last week, as was Norris, as was Mumberket. As the 3 of them go this year, that will be kind of how the Mounties offense goes, or at least we'll see with Hager back in the fold how that's, and another offensive rebound, this time from Lucas. And just not a good job on the defensive glass so far here for the Mounties. It's been the difference in the game so far. Mumberket on the attack on Lucas. Here comes a double team, and it gets taken away. Good timing on that double team from Clark. Norris watching Del Bosco. Del Bosco gets around him and then gets it blocked by Monroe. McKillop hops up wanting a foul called, not getting it. Looked to me from this angle to be clean, but I was not as close as Coach McKillop was. Oh, and a good job on that out of bounds play by Crandall. But that baseline jumper from Johnson was no good, and Deverex was there for the rebound. Mumberket wide open from 3, doesn't want it. Back to Deverex. Deverex will pop for 3, and it's good. Brennan Deverex. In Deverex and Norris, the Mounties have 2 of the top 3-point shooters in the entire ACAA. And the lead now back down to 1. So Mounties last year, all year, was just a struggle to score. It just looked like a slog at times. Again, the effort defensively kept them in a lot of games, but They just couldn't score at a good enough level and ended the season in last place in the league for the first time in a very long time. This year, with the additions of Mumberket and Wark and Bawara, Luke Riley, who we haven't seen yet, and Hager and Wark, all these guys. There's a little more hard edge to the Mounties. There's a little more shooting, a little more secondary ball handling, a little more shooting. So everything's a little bit easier on that end of the floor. Good box out by Monroe after the closeout. He doesn't realize he's got two guys behind him. And Lucas knocked it out off of Monroe. And it's going back to the Chargers with 6 seconds on the clock. Nobody guarding Clark right now. Or pardon me. Again, the numbers are screwing me up. But the bottom line is no hoops either way here to close the quarter. And the Crandall Chargers go to the first quarter break with a 21-20 lead. Oh, I know where I left it. Sorry, fans, had a small heart attack. I know exactly where I left my phone, in the upstairs bathroom. Hopefully it's still there. Ian, I'm a disaster, Ian. I really am. You gotta watch me. So we'll see. I'll go up there and check at the halftime break, and hopefully she's there. Even our cameraman's laughing at me. I'm telling you, I had a small heart attack there. Fans went, wait a second, where is my... And, yeah. Hopefully nobody steals it. One of our staff will run up and get it for me, I'm sure. One of our staff, Ian. So first quarter break. We won't spend all of it just laughing at me and my inability to get a phone, to hang on to my phone. We'll look at the stats here. So Rennie, those 2 threes, including a banker, leading Crandall with 6 points at the first quarter break. For your Mounties, Simba Boara, after that good start, 3 for 3 from the field, 1 for 1 from the line for 7, and Norris with those 2 threes, 6. Hager, a couple of hoops, along with he could have got off to a really hot start. A couple of those bunnies rolled off for him, so 5 points for him at the first quarter break. So really, and we'll look at the team stats here too. If I can click on the right thing, there we go. So hot shooting start for Mount A, 8 for 11, but 3 turnovers. And Crandall, no trips to the line in that first quarter. That's going to be something that they're going to want to change for sure. And 13 bench points for Crandall. So going all the way against my my thoughts on their bench, but they've really needed some bench production. And Jaden Lucas came off and gave them a couple. Jaden Johnson gave them a couple. Well, actually, sorry, not that. Those bench stats are going to be skewed because of the numbers screw up there for. Yeah, so don't worry about that, fans. I was right. Their bench situation is still in flux. So there's Lucas going to work again, missing a turnaround. So, yeah, the bench situation. I mean, Mount A is definitely the deeper squad. Oh, Doucette, you could tell, got up in the air and immediately realized he didn't want to be doing what he was doing. Turnover, other way, and Hutton makes him pay, and the lead is 3. So, again, we talked about it last week. Doucette doing a lot of good things in his second year. He sets good screens, rebounds, dives, plays good defense, but he's got to be better with the ball in his hands, and there's a case in point right there. He's got to take better care of it. He's got to be able to score the ball at a better level to really get big minutes in his third and fourth years. There he is doing a pretty good job on a driving Rennie, but again, can't secure the rebound. And there's Colby McIntosh up and in with his first hoop of the game. Colby's been red hot to start the year. Into the corner to Norris. Norris now. One-on-one against Lucas. Wants the shot. I think he should have taken him. Good hustle there by the Mounties, crashing the glass. They create a new possession. So that's one there in the corner. Norris has got to take his man. He's too good off the bounce, too long and hard to handle. There he goes with a three-point play, and it's about to be four. Ryan Norris on the rise and fire, telling his old coach to shut up. Let me do my thing, coach. Knocks it in and going to the line. I've seen him. That's the third. I've seen the Mounties play in person 3 times this year, and all 3 times he's had a 3-point and one. Now he's signaling that he'd like a sub. So if this one goes in, you might see him. Oh, no. Nope. I think they waved him off. Say, keep playing. Mountie extending some pressure here a little bit. Back onto the floor is Hager. We'll reset the lineups here in a minute. Johnson out top. Hand off to Clark. He can shoot from out there. Pardon me, that's Culbertson. Again, another follow for Lucas. That's 2. From the guard spot. Really, that defensive glass is where Mount A is letting this game slip a little bit. There's Norris. There's a take from Ryan. Takes it all the way. How did he not get any contact? He did get contact. Late whistle, but the right call nonetheless. And I love him doing that because last year he was really shot happy, really 3-point happy, to the point where, and I know it because I've talked to a couple of coaches. Well, that's all that guy can do. He can shoot, and he's great at it, and it's an elite skill for him. But yeah, that's all he's got. And I love how aggressive he's been off the bounce these first 2 games. And now they didn't get another rebounder in. Oh, and Doucette, yeah, over the back. You don't mind 1 or 2 of those in a quarter. Those hustle fouls, trying to create something. As long as they don't get you into foul trouble. That's only their first one of the quarter. Mounties again extending that pressure, just making the Chargers take a couple more seconds off the clock. Now they're in man here, switching everything, looks like. Hager, Hutton dances around him. Oh, nice pass on the wing to Lucas. Back rims the 3, but that missed shot's their best offense right now. Culberson on the drive and can't finish. Hager cleans the glass, and he's going to push. Monroe carving out space in there. He wanted it. All right. My phone is back where it belongs. Brings a tear to the eye. Doucette cleans the glass this time. Outlet to Boara. They got numbers. Smart pass to Monroe. He can't finish, but he follows his own miss. Can't get that one to go either. Monroe struggling to start the game. Can't get anything to go. Good defense there by Doucette. Yeah, that's the right call. The fans aren't going to like it, but that's the right call. Again, late, but correct. And you don't mind that. You don't always love it as a fan or as the opposing coach, but get it right. That's all that matters. And Doucette there, that's his second. He's going to take a seat. He just was a little bit late. Wasn't in good position. So Rennie to the line for 2 free throws. And he back rims the first. So Rennie looked like all world in the preseason game against Mount A, which Crandall led at one point in the third quarter by 33 points, I believe. And then Ryan Norris hit a 3 with 1:30 left in the game that made it a 3-point game, 88-85. And McKillop looking for a ward off there. I don't think that was an offensive foul. I think he had his arm out but not extended. Yeah, they got him for the travel that time. Yeah, so Coach McKillop did some good lobbying of the referees, and that's really all you want as a coach. If you can talk to the ref and say, look, you didn't make the call, all right, but I want you to look at this. And I think they went to them and said, you got to look at his footwork on the catch. Kwame Asidu on the floor now for the Mounties, switching everything. Yeah, he's going to call for a travel. That's a good call. Coach McKillop thinks he was knocked off balance by a Mount A player. The fans here doing some mocking of the Crandall players. Oh, and they're going to get Hagar. No, they're not. They're going to call the block. That's a good call. And McKillop thinks that he's warding him off. It looks to me, I get what he's saying. It looks to me from my angle like he is getting that arm bar out, but not pushing off. And Hutton isn't beating him to the spot. So in that position when there's a lot of contact, the arm bar's out, but he's not pushing. The defender is not set. Monroe collects the offensive rebound and the kick out. No good. There's another offensive rebound. No, Hagar not able to push it to the corner. And Monroe stepping in on Del Bosco and forcing a turnover. So you love that about our fifth-year guy, Mr. Monroe. Struggling offensively to start the game, but he's going to remain on the floor for big minutes because of exactly that. He's going to rebound the basketball. He's going to play terrific defense no matter what. That time they're going to get him for warding him off, and that looked like the least contact of the ball. Excuse me, but okay. Again, you tip your hat to the Crandall coaching staff there. They lobbied it. Look at it. They got a call. So a lot of physicality to start this game. So good question from man. I have to think about this one. Good question from, is there any kind of offensive or defensive strategy that the Mounties could use to get more defensive rebounds and overcome this lack of an inside presence? Well, to me, and we talked about this last week, you go into the game knowing, okay, we're probably not going to win on the glass. We're probably not going to win. But what we can do is extend our defense, use our speed and our wing size to create turnovers, and that's where but, yeah, so you create more offensive possessions than they get. And, the good kick. Beautiful stuff from Simba Bawara Jr., back to Hudson McGregor, new on to the game for the Mounties, and he bangs in a three and gives the Mounties the lead right back. Bodies are banging down there in the post right now. And Luca Del Bosco knows how to play in situations like this. He thrives on contact down there, and he's going to go to the line for 2 free throws, and that foul's going to be on Lance Mumbercat, his second. But that's a very good question from Nate. Who would that be? Nate Dogg. That's Nate Dogg out there. That's Nathan Ayer. Thank you for your question, Nate. Yeah, but I think defensively the game plan is is to use your strengths, and their strengths are they've got in Kwame Asidu and Simba and Christian in the backcourt. They got guys that are really good on-ball defenders. You throw in Jackson Wark in there. So you extend them, you give pressure up front, you try to create some long passes that those lengthy guys like Norris and Joe Monroe and even Hudson and these guys are on the floor right now, those guys can create havoc with their long arms and create a lot of turnovers. That looked like a lot of contact inside on Mumbercat. Got nothing. Rennie pops a three, exactly what you want him doing. Asidu collects the rebound. He's going to push the pace. Mumbercat was open. Asidu didn't see him. He's still open. Norris didn't see him. Norris gets it knocked away, but it was kicked. Yeah, and I think the refs are getting to a place here now where they might blow the whistle, look at both benches and go, shut up. I think very soon this might be a conversation. There's lots of chirping going on right now. Norris curls, attacks. Yeah, I like that take from Ryan. Yeah, there is. Look, this one's been. Look, I know you referee more than one sport. You're a referee in more than one sport, right? So we've talked about this a lot, and maybe we're full of it, but because we're around basketball so much. But I think basketball is the most difficult sport to referee because there's a million things going on at once. You're telling me no, but volleyball. Yeah, volleyball's difficult too. But yeah, it is. So like the block charges and like every game is a different level of physicality. Every game's a different level of speed. Some games are a lot slower. Some games there's a lot more contact. So you got to you can't call every game the same way. Right? If some games you'd be calling a foul every 5 seconds. Some games you never call any fouls. Like it's one of those things you have to set a standard. And this game's been especially tough to referee. There's been contact everywhere, constantly. Yeah, and I think they've done a pretty decent job of letting them play here. So that one's going to be a trip to the line. Another one for Del Bosco. It looks like the second on Monroe. So we'll see if they leave him in with a chance to get his third before the break. Yes. So Ian. So yeah, if I pause to listen to my man Ian, just know, fans, I'm not ignoring you and I'm not going crazy. I'm not hearing voices in my head. Ian Allen is right here next to me, and we're having a little bit of a discussion back and forth. McGregor running that curl, looking to get him another shot. Maybe no, they're bringing Norris around. Little decoy, and Ryan, yeah, he called that one. For sure he called it. The Windex man, Jack Frost. Eating things up again, the lead right back to the Mounties. Hey, Rennie made a banker. We can, whatever. Evens things up, and yeah, Hutton. And credit Kwame Asidu. Just the value of a hard closeout sometimes, man. Can make a good player lose his head for a second. So Hutton's certainly a good player. So turnover. So a real physical defensive battle here in the first half so far. Running Norris off another couple screens. Now is Cedar going to use the screen from Norris. Pop it back to him. Got Del Bosco looking at him. Ryan takes it, tries to float it up on the glass. No good. There's Joe Monroe again, ripping it free. McGregor came right to him, pops another three, back rim. And rebounded. Where am I here? Harper Kopp onto the floor for the Chargers. There we go. I got my correct numbers list, excuse me. So Harper Kopp with his first minutes. So it's Del Bosco, Jaden Johnson, Rennie, Kopp, and Lucas, the five for the Chargers. It's Bawara, Monroe, Norris, Hager, and Mumberket, the five for your Mounties. Mumberket fakes the handoff, gets all the way to the glass, doesn't get the Euro step finish. But he's going to go to the line for 2 free throws. Mumberket been quiet in this first half so far. That was gorgeous. And he's going to go to the line looking to extend the lead here. And it's timeout, Chargers. Now that I got my phone back, thank you, Ian. We'll go back through. We'll do a little out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by nobody. There's no sponsor for this, so call us and sponsor it. We take your money and talk about you on the air, and then you've sponsored our little segment here. So the girls' games earlier. The Mount Allison Mounties in our first game here, if you weren't with us, came away with a 77-50 victory over the Crandall Chargers. We won't talk about the 21 points they scored in the second half. Let's have a chat about the 56 points they scored in the first half, because that's what they did. Excellent first half. Shots just wouldn't go in the second, but they were They were very good, and Crandall, look, we said it again, the Crandall girls, that talent level's going up, their needles pointing up, the Crandall girls program, so good to see. Sadie Bowen led them with 20 points and 7 boards. Danielle Alexander, 15 and 8. Grace Tilley in double figures with 10. Kate Fillmore, 14, 4 and 4. Emma Roberts, only 5 points, but only took 4 shots. She was dishing it out, 7 assists of her own, and another 4 rebounds for her and a couple steals. So good all-around effort. Crandall was led by Ellie Hiltz, Lauren Lilly with 8 points each. Ella Smith with 7 off the bench. And again, down in Halifax, big win for the UMBSJ Lady Seawolves, 76-72 over King's College Blue Devils. Avery Allward, 25 for UMBSJ, and Ainsley Green, 22 and 20. 20 boards for Ainsley Green. Good for her. Love to see that. 1 out of 2 at the line for Mumberket, 34-32 the lead. 3 minutes clock running first half from the Mount A Gymnasium here in Sackville, New Brunswick. Rennie with a nice leave for Hop, and man, that was a scary fall. Hop totally did the right thing. Shot fake, and he did not intend for Boara to go end over end and land on his knees. That was a scary fall, but absolutely popped right back up. Everybody held their breath for a moment, including me. Hop to the line for 2 free throws. Woo. Looked like Vince Carter jumping over Frederick Weiss in the Olympics for a dunk there for a moment. Whew. Simba's looking healthy. He's got some spring in those pins. Tying the game up at the line was Kopp. Harper Kopp from Victoria, BC, first-year player. Hager gets bumped by Kopp, turns it over. They're going to call a foul. And there's going to give him 2 free throws. So lucky break there. Ethan Culberson up off the bench, biting his towel, wondering what that call is. He doesn't agree with it, clearly. Jack Way about to check into the game for the first time for Crandall. Going to give Lucas a break. That was his second foul. So smart substitution. I don't want Lucas to get his third. He's had a strong first half. So continuing our recap right now in Halifax as well. The Mount St. Vincent women's team leading the Holland ladies 29-21 halfway through the second quarter there. Boys game to come up there after that girls game. So make sure after this game you head over on ACAA TV to check out the rest of the girls game and the guys game. And tomorrow in the ACAA fans, starting at noon here in Sackville, as Luca Del Bosco. We're gonna have to pay him a little bit, Ian, to do our work for us here, cleaning the floor. Yeah. Yeah, Luca, that's on his own. We didn't ask him to do that. You're not getting anything from us, Luca. Love you though. Free throw, good. The second one for Hager. 1 point lead to the Mounties, 2:36. Clock running. First half. Rennie been fairly quiet since banking in that 3. Oh, he gets all the way to the glass, though, and the follow from Johnson. Sometimes you don't need to finish. Oh, and it looked like Monroe maybe took a shot on as he was passing it in. Oh, dancing to the cup is Boara Jr. His first hoop since 7 quick ones early. Continuing his strong first half. Crandall bench having a running conversation with Simba. Maybe questioning his footwork still, I don't know. So Crandall does an interesting thing with their offense. They do run Rennie at the point. They've got other ball handlers. They've got Jack Way, they've got Culberson, but they run Rennie at the point. They want the ball in his hands making decisions, because when he gets when he gets around those high screens and gets downhill, he is very, very dangerous. And he's a good passer. And he's an absolute bowling ball. So trying to keep him off the line is an exercise in futility most of the time. You want him, you want to go underneath screens and make him make a decision to be a shooter. He can make some threes, but for example, he was 0 for 7 from behind the arc last weekend against Holland, so he has those days. He's not a good high-volume three-point shooter. Oh, and Joe Monroe with the rebound. Outlet to Norris. Norris stops and finishes. Good patience from Norris. Good awareness from Monroe off that rebound. Little cherry picking. And it worked out for Mr. Norris. Oh, good hands there from Ryan, knocking that clean. Hagar with a kick ahead to Bawara. Bawara finishes around Rennie. And the lead up to 4 for the Mounties here late in the first half. 1:33 clock running. And yeah, that's the risk you take, leaving Monroe on the floor. 1 minute 30 left in the half. He's got his third. And he's going to have to go and sit. And I'm not sure, Coach Mitch Weber is... I don't think he was happy with the call. Looked to me like it was the proper call. Looked to me he got a piece of his arm. I could be wrong. And Del Bosco 2 for 2 at the line. He's had a great first half as Luka, 41-39 now. Hager. Bawara hides behind the screen of Mumberket. Now he's going to go drive left to Norris. Norris steps back, going to shoot another three. That one was difficult, well guarded by Del Bosco. Del Bosco on the run. Gets blocked from behind by Norris. Good job getting back by Ryan. Hagar sets up Bawara. Bawara skates around him. Back to Hagar. Hagar all the way to the cup for the finish. What a lovely little combination 1-2 from Bawara and Hagar to give the Mounties a 4-point lead once again. Skip pass. Yeah, that's going to be a travel. Yep, good call, and he knew it right away, did Kopp. So some happy feet here from both ends, leading to some turnovers here in the first half. And timeout Mount A. So a little foul trouble here for the Mounties. I think will probably lead to more action in the third quarter anyway, for guys like Deverex and McGregor and possibly Jackson Wark as well, with Joe Monroe with his 3 fouls now. I think that was a calculated risk from Weber to leave him on the floor with his 2, knowing he's a pretty smart player. Probably will be able to, most situations probably would have gotten to the break with just the 2, but hand in the cookie jar there on that inside look to Del Bosco. And we'll take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard. UMBSJ laying a beating on the King's College Blue Devils right now. 29 points their lead at the half down in Halifax. 61-33 on the Blue Devils. And A.J. Nash and Lance Howlett combining for 29 of those 61 in the first half. But a balanced outing. 9 guys on the score sheet for SJ in the first half. Aiden McDonald, 8 points leading the way for the Blue Devils. And here in Mount Allison, 43-39, 40 seconds left, clock running first half. Hudson McGregor going to set a screen up top for Hagar, gets it knocked away, trying to find him on the roll. Rennie now leaves it nicely for Johnson. Johnson lays it in. Outlet pass to Mumberket. He was briefly ahead of the field, but they're going to pull back and hold for one shot. Hagar to Bawara. They'll run some sort of action here up top. Nice give from Hagar to Mumbercat. Mumbercat hangs. Looks like I got hit on the top of the head. No call, and now Rennie will come back, and he's going to throw one up at the buzzer. Bawara grabs it, and the Mount A Mounties will go to the break up 4 here in this first game of their weekend homestand. Solid finish to that half. Little bit of foul trouble that they'll have to navigate in the second, but 45-41 the lead going to the break. Caleb Rennie leading, and Del Bosco, pardon me, leading Crandall with 8 points apiece. Ryan Norris with 17 as we head to the break. 4 for 6 from three-point land. Simba Bawara in double figures with 10, and Christian Hager, 9 points, 3 assists for him. So the story really of that half, the shooting of Mount A. 6 turnovers, forcing 9 by Crandall. 16-28 from the field, 57%. Made half of their threes, but only half of their free throws. So that is kind of keeping Crandall in it as well. So they're even on the glass right now, well, almost even on the glass, which is really a bonus for them. So we'll see what the second half brings, fans, but solid start for your Mounties. We'll see you back here in 14. And welcome back for the second half of our doubleheader here from Sackville today on ACAA.tv. Dave Tingley on the call for you. Class of 99, Mounties. And here we go, 45-41, the Mountie lead. And starting second half, a little dribble handoff here for Ryan Norris trying to get him a shot, and they do. He's short though. Well defended by Crandall. Culbertson enough airspace there to bother him. Now Crandall, can they get Culbertson and McIntosh going here a little bit? A couple of their best players. McIntosh, I don't even think played in the second quarter. Only one foul. Don't know if there was some message being sent there or what, but he's been terrific for them to start the year, and only one hoop in the first half for Colby. Yeah. Boy, got lucky inside there, did Bawara, but he missed a couple of shots. The presence, again, of Del Bosco, a problem. Randy got to his left hand. You can't let him get there. Automatic. 45-43 the lead. Norris, the bounce pass to Mumbercat. The body control of Lance Mumbercat. And the finish. Tough one for him. Only 3 points in the first half. Only 2 shots for Lance. And Christian Hager, that'll be his third foul on him. So the foul trouble becoming an issue here. 2 starters now for Mount A with 3. On the Crandall side, Culberson, maybe that was part of the reason he didn't get a lot of time in the second quarter. Only two fouls, for him, and 2 on Jaden Lucas. Rennie. Yeah, I mean, you can't let him get to his left, but you can't just let him walk into the key right-handed either. Hager with a nice cut and a nice finish over the outstretched hand of Del Bosco, and a good find from Bawara there. Dropped a dime, his second assist of the night. Hager into double figures now with 11. Kick out to Del Bosco. He's going to drive right on Mumbercat. Cut off. Mumbercat. Great defense. Bawara on the push. It's only a 3-on-3. And he goes right into Rennie. But Rennie, I think, was too far under the basket. And it's going to be 2 shots for Bawara. Bawara, 6'4", first-year player from Surrey, BC. Bright future ahead of Simba. Guy his size, skill level, getting this much playing time in his first year. And Ian Allen is out. So you will not, I know you guys, some of you were sticking around hoping for the dulcet tones of one Ian Allen, but he's on his way to the hockey rink. Never ceases for Ian Allen. He was doing the same job. He looks the same as he did back when I went here too, working our basketball games, but sayonara, Fair Prince. 49-45 the lead. 1 more at the line for Simba Bawara. So I'm not sure what the delay here is about. I know they're cleaning up the floor here a little bit. Rennie took a while to recover from the spill there, I know too. Still not sure what the delay is. And talking to the score sheet people. And I don't know if it's a score thing or not. Anyway, I know assistant coach Ryan Chase didn't appreciate being unceremoniously ushered away from the scene by the referee. It looked like he was just trying to get a word on what the deal was, and took a little shove, for lack of a better term, from the ref there to get out of the way. But anyway, back at it. Norris on the attack with the left hand and the finish. Ryan Norris. He has been terrific this afternoon. Leading this attack, 19 points now for him on the evening. Oh, watching McIntosh down low. Good feed to Mumberkett. Mumberkett on the attack. Or pardon me, Culberson on the attack, and he finishes. Boara, a little fade. Good defense down there from Del Bosco. McIntosh rebounds and pushes. It's been a real non-factor so far. He's going to have to be a factor if Crandall's going to come back and win this game, and that's a good start. He is a handful when he's got the ball down low. Got lots of moves coming back over each shoulder. Can shoot the ball. Norris, wild on that one. Good closeout from McIntosh. And now Crandall can try or take the lead. Pull up from Rennie. That's too easy, but he missed it. Got away with one. Hager on the push. Finds Mumberkett. Back to Hager. Hager on the attack. He's going to finish with the right hand. Lovely stuff. And Hager, I mean, to my mind, he didn't even see Del Bosco there. He was just getting up. And I think they're leaving it alone. They're just calling for a cleanup. Luca, I say, he loves the contact. He'll even welcome it when it's just not even part of the play. That certainly wasn't. Hager was confused. I'm just getting up off the floor to run down the other end and got banged into, but no harm, no foul, literally. So we're back at it. 4-point lead again. Del Bosco flashes right to the ball. Good ball movement. Norris lands right in his hands. Mumberkett now. Culberson watching him. Culberson. I always want to put the T in and then remember that I don't need it. Monroe spins and gets to, now his feet are set. That's more like it. Yep. He knew that one was going in. When his feet are set and he's got clear air, way over 50% are going in. Hutton, not his shot. He's not a prolific three-point guy. Good closeout from Norris. Boara, the Euro step, the hit. Doesn't get it to go, but he's going to go to the line for 2 free throws, and we'll see who the foul is on. That's going to matter. And the foul call's on Hutton. That's his second. Culberson goes to the bench now with 3 on him. So that's an issue for Crandall. That's the thing. They're starting 5, again, amongst the best. I said the best, arguably the best in the ACAA. If not the best, then you could certainly argue that they deserve a place there. 2 for 2 at the line for Boara, and he's going to check out. Wark's going to come back in. Quiet in his minutes, minutes in the first half today, but capable of really being disruptive, and they may need him for a little bit. Monroe's on the floor, though, with 3, and McIntosh. That's a big one for Crandall. They needed it. The lead down to 6 now. Back to Norris. Norris going to use the screen. Hager went to reject it, then used it. Back to Hager. Skip pass. Monroe. Oh, he needed that one personally. Did Joe. 0 for 3 on the afternoon. Got one. And the lead right back to 9. Rennie's going to pop a three. Del Bosco skying above everybody, knocks to McIntosh. He just made one from there, but missed that one. Mumberket with the kick ahead. Oh, tried to get it back from Hager. But a little bit behind him, tough to catch. Rennie now, he's going to use the screen. Oh, McIntosh again from the same spot. No again, Mumberket. Numbers now for the Mounties. Hager didn't get it to go. Monroe either, gets it back. Rennie kind of awkwardly in the lane. Mumberket wants a three, no good. Rennie. Again blown dead, and again they want to clean the floor. The bodies are flying today. We don't go very long without the referees asking to blow things dead and clean the floor for player safety. Rennie's going to check out, so it's Hutton, Lucas on the floor with his two, Del Bosco, McIntosh, and Johnson. Johnson gave him some good minutes in the first half, six points and a board in his 11, a couple pretty finishes. Norris, Wark, Hager, Mumberket, and Monroe with his the five for the Mounties, and that's why you play Joe Monroe with his three. Smart, active, he's got a bad shoulder, he's got 3 fouls, doesn't matter. He's the 5th-year guy, he's steady. You want him out there. Got his hands on that one. Now they go back to man-to-man. Nope, they don't. Falling on the floor is Hutton, and Wark goes right after it. Very aggressive. And Crandall doesn't appreciate the physicality of Wark jumping on Hutton on the ball there. They wanted a foul call. That's how you get that's how you go after a loose ball in Sussex. Sorry, no apologies from Jackson Wark. That's how it goes. Mumberket. He's going to sit down. Checking back in for Crandall is Bryson Clark. 4 minutes, scoreless minutes in the first half for him. They like his upside. Into McIntosh. He's going to go right at Norris. Spinning right-hander, really good defense. Del Bosco goes over Monroe. Tries to finish. Got a hand on it there to Deverex. And a turnover at half court by Wark. Tried to force one through to Hager. And knocked out off of McIntosh by Norris. So good hands. And the Mount Allison Mounties looking to put a stranglehold on this game. A big finish to the third will do exactly that. 9 points is the lead. Monroe exits and comes back. Working hard to get that ball. Lucas watching him closely. And now he's going to draw one on Lucas, and that's going to be his third. Monroe never gave up on that one. He's like, I've been held and clutched and grabbed at every single one of these cuts. I'm going to try one more. See if I get the call. And he got one. So Lucas now, he's going to play with 3. And again, you get as deep as you want. You want to get deep into this bench. Yep, that's the right call. Running through that screen there was McIntosh. Monroe had the right to that spot. A little chatter going on. And now Coach Todd McKillop not pleased with some chatter, I think, from the floor. Yeah, I don't know. He hopped up with purpose there. One of his coaches tried to subdue him. Monroe pops out. Deverex being held on the cut. Good cut from him. Now a hold there, and now it's going to be 2 free throws for the Mounties, and the Chargers going to have to collect themselves a little bit. Spirits are running a little bit high. There's been a lot of physical contact. Deverex makes the first. Daps up the fake teammates, lined up. Goes back for his second shot. The lead now double figures for Mount A. Bench is a little hot both ways here. McIntosh going to check out. Rennie back in. McIntosh got things going a little bit here. But we'll see if that was his. Was that his third? No, only 2. But he's had 7 here in this quarter after being pretty quiet in the first half. Now, Monroe's going to get a break here. That's a good sub, I think. He's managed to keep things under control. He and Hager both still with 3. They're both checking out. Good work. Good decision, I think, to give them a break. But Asidu, oh boy, he got cut around there by Johnson. And the lead back down to 9. Almost a steal, and now yes, a steal. And now they're going to get an easy one at the other end is Crandall. Johnson lays it in. So a couple of quick turnovers here. And the lead down to 7, and the Crandall bench hops up trying to light a fire under their guys. A fiery third quarter here in Sackville. There's been some chatter between coaches and refs, between players on the floor and benches. There's definitely a rivalry that's building here between Crandall and Mount A. I say building, it's been building for a while. It's pretty hot. And this afternoon, and I think a lot of people came away from preseason with Crandall as maybe one of the favorites in the league. That starting 5, pretty stellar. But as you step back and take a look at things, between these two teams, Mount A runs deeper on their bench than Crandall does. I know Crandall, you look at especially when you look at guys like Culberson and McIntosh, those two are just 2 examples of a really good job that Crandall does, Todd McKillop and his coaching staff, of developing young players. Those guys came from small town New Brunswick and are now elite ACAA players. You know, perhaps even all-star level players. And that's not easy to do, to go from playing 2-3 minutes. You got to have a good development system. You got to have the right guys. And as they beat the press, get it to Deverex. Deverex gets him to fly by, but comes up short. And Crandall has a chance to bring this back. But right now, they haven't. There's a couple of guys on that Crandall bench that will develop and give them better minutes as the year goes on. Who they're going to be, you're not 100% sure just yet, but they're going to need a couple, because right now, after the first 5-6 guys, they're a little bit thin, and there's more contact. That looked like a dive out top, and a turnover there on the sideline, and now 3-on-1 back the other way. A couple of the young guys here with a couple of giveaways in the third quarter. And this lead now, since Monroe and Hager checked out, has shrunk. A wide open 3 for Bawara. Not his best shot, though. And now this lead down to 5. And what does the coaching staff for Mount A do? If this lead shrinks again in the next couple minutes, do they keep Monroe and Hager on the bench? I don't think so. Yeah, here it comes. Monroe's going back in. And Norris is going to take a break, because that's his third as well. So missed free throw by Johnson. Now you want to see if Monroe can steady things here a little bit, help the team steady things a little bit defensively. And taking care of the ball, 2 misses. Bawara had it knocked away, gets it back, now on the push. Deverex. Monroe in the corner to Asidu. Asidu to Bawara. Bawara looking baseline, gets it knocked away by Culberson. Another turnover. Mount A just giving the Chargers chance after chance here to end the quarter, and a nice look to Johnson. Deverex had his back turned. Johnson cut around him but missed the bunny. Monroe gets all the way to the glass, but he can't finish. Felt like he got hit. There's Del Bosco on the push between 2, and he gets it to go. Put so much pressure on the defense, did Luca. Bawara gets all the way to the cup, and he's going to go to the line for 2 free throws. Hopefully he can settle things with some shots from the charity stripe. Deverex is going to check out. And back into the game is McGregor. That stops the run. Bawara. I think that was an 8-0 run by my count for the Chargers. Once they subbed out Hager and Monroe. 2 for 2 at the line for Bawara. Makes you feel a lot better. A stop and a score to end this quarter would make them feel even better. Mumberket out there to watch Rennie, trying to keep him off of his left hand. They're going to send a screen out at him. That's McKenna. Pitch back to McIntosh. McIntosh can't get it to go. Asidu. Yeah, he was asking for a tip, but no can do. Yeah, just some panicked plays here by some of the younger guys here in the third quarter. Now Chargers are going to have a chance. Mounties have fouls to give. Do they give one here? You don't want to get it to Monroe. Oh boy. That was not a lot of contact on that one. And yeah, they did a smart thing. They put Jonas Monroe in the pick and roll, did Crandall with his 4, knowing he didn't want to be very aggressive at the point of attack. And it worked out. 2 from the line for Rennie. Whether you like the contact or not. And he's not a high percentage free throw shooter or 3-point shooter. So he gets to the line a lot though, so his volume means he's going to make a lot of free throws. Gets the second one to go. And with 1.1 seconds on the clock, we'll see if Monroe sends it long. Yeah, he will. They'll have a shot at the buzzer. No good. And the Mounties are going to go to the fourth quarter the same way they went to the third quarter with a 4-point lead. But it doesn't feel as good as that second quarter lead did, since they had stretched it out to double digits there with a few minutes left in the quarter. And like I say, Monroe went to the bench, Hager went to the bench, and then there was some unsteady play there, some silly turnovers, some careless ones, questionable decisions, and it's led to the lead shrinking. So you got to think they're going to go back to Hager probably to start the fourth, I would imagine. But we'll see the lineup. But he is back out there. It's the starting 5. No, pardon me, McGregor is in there for Norris right now. You'll probably see Ryan pretty quick to start the quarter. He does have 3, as do Hager and Monroe. Oh, pardon me, it looks like Norris has 2. I thought for sure they put up on the scoreboard in here at the time. I thought for sure they put up 3. But the official scorekeeping here says 2, so we'll make sure that's correct. It's kind of a big deal. As it loads here. So this is a big one for the Mounties fans. They got UMBSJ coming tomorrow You know, you lose this one, then you're facing, okay, we got to beat the defending league champs to avoid an 0-3 start. I know you don't think that, you know, as you're doing it, as you're playing, obviously, but you definitely want to close things off. Yeah, so it looks to me like, yeah, Norris only with the 2. So yeah, you don't have to really stress about him right now. And Monroe and Hager back out on the floor with McGregor and Mumberket and Bawara. And we'll set the 5 here for Crandall in a moment. Bawara, he's going to attack. Step back. Doesn't get it to go. Hutton squeezes it. He's got McIntosh. And they're going to be illegal screen there at the top. Offensive foul. Rennie arguing the call, doesn't like it. Shockingly, the refs don't change the call. The unblemished record of the referees not changing the call continues into the 100 and whateverth year of basketball. McGregor from the perimeter. There's Bawara trying to squeeze. Hutton, though, knocks it away nicely and squeezes the orange for Crandall. Rennie now. Culberson. Oh, nice cut from McKenna for the score. Pretty stuff. Yes, it is McKenna. Wanted to make sure I had the right number. He was one of those changes. So McKenna, first time we've said his name all day. Oh, Bawara able to save it back for Hager. Hager squeezes it to Mumberket. Swings all the way to the corner. A wide open 3 for Monroe. It's short. He chases it down. Oh, and they all leave. The seas part. And Monroe kept that pivot foot alive and finished. Terrific stuff from Joe. Oh, and they got lost in a sea to the Mount A defenders there. Running that high screen action. Got to be better communication. That's twice in a row now. Wide open cutters for easy hoops. Bawara's going to pop a 3. Rebounded by Culberson. Now Crandall with a chance to tie or take the lead. Rennie got to his left hand, had it knocked away. McIntosh recovers, back to Hutton. 10 seconds on the shot clock. They're going to run McKenna, set up a screen high. Finds its way to McIntosh for the lead, no good. There comes Hagar trying to collect. Out off of Chris, and it's going to stay with the Chargers. Del Bosco back into the game. Luka struggled from the field today, only 2 for 7 for his 10 points, but 6 for 6 from the line, 5 boards. And he's a threat to go off anytime. And again, more cleaning to be done. This is the most times I've ever seen in a basketball game the sweepers come on to take care of things, and Wark's going to come in for McGregor. Crandall having a tough time getting it in. They manage. Culberson right at half court. Good pass from Hutton. That's a toughie. Skip it to McIntosh. McIntosh on the attack and the finish, and he ties the game. Crandall with a run here to tie it. And it dates back to the 3-4 minute mark of that third quarter. 3 starters came off the floor. Norris popping a long one, no good. McIntosh on the rebound. Now Crandall can take the lead. Culberson, he's been quiet. Hutton. Del Bosco wants him to cut. Culberson, a wide open three. And that one goes, and the lead now to the Chargers. 3-point lead. Hagar sets up Monroe for the tie. No good. Batted around, and Culberson comes away with it on the push. He finds McIntosh. McIntosh hangs. Good defense. Can't finish. Hagar runs it down. Gets it to Norris. Mount A on an extended drought here. Only 5 points in the last, say, 7.5 minutes or so. Norris with the cut. Beautiful find from Hagar. Excellent play, the give and go. The oldest play in the book. And Mounties the lead down to 1. Playing under that screen on Rennie. Forcing him right. Tried to get back to his left. And that's going to go back to the Mounties. Terrific defense at the point of attack by Monroe. He's able to be a little more aggressive here as we're getting down to the back half of the fourth quarter. Still with the 3. Not as concerned with getting that fourth at this point. So another tight game here. Both these teams used to it in the early part of the season. Every game they've had has been a nail-biter so far. Monroe, fake handoff to Mumberket. Mumberket pops. Screen roll with Monroe. They got to swing the other side. There's Norris, tries to get it back to Monroe. 2, he's got to get it up. He does. Boy, that's a lot of contact. I know the clock ran out, but pretty physical play out there. They're going to have to call the sweepers out again, but we're going to a timeout. Man, the bodies are flying here in the Mountie Gymnasium today as we are in a 1-point game here going down to the back half of the fourth quarter. So McIntosh was quiet in that first half, but he's had himself a second half. 11 points in the second half, up to 13 on the game to lead the Chargers. Jaden Johnson has been great as well, 6 for 9 from the field for his 12 points. Rennie's been more quiet than normal, 11, but he's got 6 boards and 4 assists. Del Bosco in double figures with 10. Culberson just hit that huge 3. He's 3 for 6 from the night for his 7 points, joining Jaden Lucas. For your Mounties, Ryan Norris, 24 on the night from him, 5 threes. Bawara, 14, 5 for 9 from the field, and 5 boards. Hagar, 13, 5 assists, and 3 boards. Only 3 people for Mount A in double figures. Then it's Mumberket, Monroe, Deverex, all stuck on 5. And if you told me that those 3 would combine for 15 points at this point in the game, I'd say Mount A is in trouble. They need scoring. They do go deeper on their bench, but they need scoring from Mumberket and Norris. Or pardon me, Norris as well, but he's gone for 24 today. They need scoring from Monroe and Mumberket. We'll see. These guys are mentally tough. They're not going to get down on themselves for having a quiet game so far. It's crunch time, and they're here to play. Wark out there pressuring. Del Bosco finds Johnson. Johnson drives baseline. Gets up in the air, can't finish. Gets his own rebound, can't finish that either. Norris comes out of the pack with the ball. And he's going to set something up. Playing with it out with Del Bosco is dangerous. Luca down to Mumberket now. Mumberket finds Norris for his feet set 3, in and out. And rebounded in traffic there by Culberson. Mounties need another stop. They've gone back to this zone with Norris at the top. That length. They find a shooter in the corner. That's Hutton. And that's, again, he's not a prolific three-point shooter, it's Hutton. Christian driving baseline. Beautiful find to Mumberket. Mumberket's going to go to the line for 2. Hager went baseline. The timely cut by Mumberket. Found him, and he's going to go to the line for free throws. 1 for 2 on the night from the line. Both teams shooting 50% from the field. Normally, 50% gets you up around 100 points the way basketball is played, but the pace hasn't been end to end. It's been a lot of physicality, a lot of fouls, a lot of just the pace hasn't been. I don't think that the pace has been at the pace either of these teams wants to play. Mount A out rebounding Crandall on the night now. You told me that was going to happen. I had to say they'd maybe even cruise to a victory. Mumbercat short on the first. (13 for 22 from the line now. 14 for 23. All right. Then we got a tie game. And Mount A still in that zone. 3-2. Norris at the top. Extend it out. Sent a lot of cutters through. Yeah, that's the vulnerable spot. Oh, they don't get the rebound. Del Bosco missed a bunny. Boy, Mount A stole one there. Although Crandall's going to keep the ball. Lots of bunnies there. McIntosh thought for sure he was hit, but it certainly appeared that Monroe stayed perfectly vertical. Appeared that way, anyway. And then the ball bounced to Del Bosco, and he just rushed it a little bit. So Mount A, if they can come away with a stop here on this possession, feel like they stole one. McIntosh and Del Bosco, they're going to finish that play well over half the time. And Boara was holding, I think, Del Bosco as he went through the key. So again, they line up. 14 on the clock now, 4:11 left. Again, so much cleaning of the floor today. Most I've ever seen. Got to be a basketball world record. A handoff to Culberson. They want to jump out at him. Oh, and McIntosh fumbles it out of bounds. So yeah, Mount A stole one here. Several bunnies. More floor cleaning. adding we added 20 minutes onto this game from floor cleaning. Everybody's hitting the floor on every play. This is going to be a big win for somebody. Mount A needs it more, probably. Being at 0-1 already. This homestand, you want to take care of things at home. Hager gets to Mumbercat. Mumbercat hands to Norris. Norris tries to attack through Hutton. Gets it to Mumbercat. Mumbercat rise and fire and short. Mounties now have a chance. Pardon me. Chargers have a chance to take the lead again. Oh, Del Bosco get lost. They recovered, but they wide open. Culberson almost banked it in again. There's Boara coming and picking it up. He's going to go all the way to the glass on the attack and finish. Boy, nobody stepped in on Simba Boara, and he went coast to coast for the finish. Hutton, great help defense there from Monroe, but they weren't able to squeeze the defensive rebound. And there's Culberson in the middle of the key with nobody near him. And Monroe not able to squeeze it, but McIntosh knocked it out of bounds, and Mount A gets away with one again. Boy, Crandall is exposing huge gaps right now in that zone, and they're not paying him off. Usually so good with the timing of their offense on these cuts to create easy opportunities, but not happening right now. Body's hitting the floor again. Monroe trying to make a three, no good. Del Bosco on the push. Matching up. Nope. Handoff. I was going to say matching them up, but no, they're not. McIntosh doesn't want the three. Rennie does. In and out. Hutton. He crashes the glass. No can do. Going back to Mount A. Again, any Crandall possession that ends with a Rennie 3 is a victory in my mind. You get him going downhill, he's scary. Even and the one time in the first half where they laid right off him and didn't get a hand up, he made them pay for it. But they've run bodies at him at his other three-point attempts. It's bothered him enough. He's only had the one make. So Hager had it knocked away by Hutton. That is why Hutton is on the floor. I told you what his strengths aren't there earlier, which is three-point shooting. He's not a prolific three-point shooter, but he is so disruptive defensively that he more than makes up for it. And he's a solid point guard as far as running your offense and getting 2 feet in the paint. He can certainly get by his man and set guys up. But again, he and Rennie, if you have them, if you funnel the ball to them for three-point shots, it's a victory. Crandall lives on timely cutting, sharing the ball, getting downhill, putting pressure on your defense constantly. Mount A's done a pretty good job today of playing to their defensive strengths. Got them a 10-point lead, but they coughed it up with a bad run towards the end of that third quarter. Oh, and Hagar steps in on that one. He tries to go to the glass, and Del Bosco is not happy about that foul call. He thought for sure that was a clean block, but Hagar got the call, and he's going to go to the line for 2 free throws. It's a big call. Looked to me like the right one. Looked to me like enough contact to justify. Again, we don't have replay ability up here, so if we did, it'd be nice to have another look at it. But looked like the right call, but Del Bosco certainly didn't like it. And Hagar doesn't pay it off. So it's still going to be a one-possession game here as we approach the 2-minute mark. Hager 0 for 2, but Boara collects. Kicks to Monroe. Monroe gets around Culberson, finds Mumbercat. Mumbercat shares it. They only have 5 on the clock. Hager is going to have to get it up. He doesn't. It's too late. And it's going back to Crandall. And I question whether Mumbercat on another day gets that 3 up, knowing that they're against the clock. He hasn't had the greatest shooting day today. So confidence not at its highest level for Lance right now, probably, but you want him taking that shot. He's a big-time player. He can make that. Del Bosco, long. Monroe battling down there with Hutton. The ball is out off of Jonas, so it's going to stay with the Chargers. Every possession now, huge. So they're doing a good. Here we go. All right, fans. Anybody want to volunteer for a floor cleaning job here at Mount A Gymnasium? They could use some more. I think if we had 3 or 4 or 5 more squeegee guys, we'd be able to get this taken care of very quickly. But the bodies are flying today. So when we get going here, it's going to be a 2-point game. 14 on the clock. Del Bosco has been stretching. He's obviously got something tight that's bothering him. Hamstring, calf maybe, seems to be the back of his leg that he's stretching out. Hasn't seemed to affect him. He's been playing hard. But big minutes here for these 5 guys. Crandall doesn't want to go any deeper, certainly not in big moments like this. Rennie Pops for a three. They don't stick the box out. Now he's got his feet set and it goes. You saw that coming. His feet set. He can shoot that set shot. They flew at him and didn't. Simba Boara didn't stick the box out. So the lead is back to the Chargers. Boara pops. Surveys. Takes it all the way. Gets hit. He's going to go to the line. Culbertson met him. Now, can Mount A make some shots at the line? It's been a struggle today from the charity stripe. They have not cashed in on their chances. Really, and now they're changing up the defense here. Boara gets the first one. That's big. Ties the score. Now, can he give the lead back? He can. Big ones for Simba Boara. Big game for him in his return from injury. The first-year player playing big out there harassing Hutton. Hutton beats him, gets all the way. Oh, he tried to leave it for Del Bosco. No, that was clearly off of Luca Del Bosco. Yes, that's the correct call. And Coach McKillop's upset about it, but it's the right call. Clearly, from my angle, it may have been tipped out of Hutton's hand, but it definitely was swiped at and tipped by Del Bosco on the way by. So now a little extended pressure here. And Mumberket beats it easily. Back to Hager. Hager now. Gonna have to watch Hutton. Hutton, terrific. Guarding that ball. Boara on the blow-by baseline. Gets it knocked away, and they're calling for a travel. And I think that's the right call. And are they going to call timeout here? Yeah, Mount A is calling for a tip, but I don't think so. I think that's the right call. Bar is too. I mean, it looked to me like it just left his hand and he popped up and grabbed it again. I don't think it was tipped. I think that's the right call. I understand Mount A's point, but I think the Chargers just played terrific defense there. And now they're going to have a chance to take the lead. So what do you run here? There's going to be Mount A's been switching defenses a little bit, so I think you got to talk about here's what we're going to run depending on whether it's zone or man. So it's going to involve the ball in Rennie's hands. You've got to think in some sort of two-man action involving McIntosh, I would think. You'd want the ball in those guys' hands to create. But then again, Mounty's done a good job funneling the ball to the guys that for the most part. So we'll see what defense Mount A comes out in for one thing. And will the Mounties look back at the end of that third quarter when they subbed out Norris, Monroe, and Hager, with all of them only two of them having 3 fouls. Norris was not in foul trouble at the time. Oh, and Boara out there pressuring Hutton. So they're staying, and Rennie, that's what you want. You want him shooting that three, and it's going to be out off of Hutton. So I couldn't tell whether they were playing man-to-man and switching everything momentarily there, whether they were sitting in that zone. But they did the right thing. They went under that screen on Rennie, made him pop that three. I mean, his feet were set, but there was a hand up. And again, that's the lowest percentage shot you're going to get from him. They weren't able, again, to squeeze the rebound. It's been dicey, the defensive rebounding here in the second half for sure. Crandall sending everybody, and Hutton even being disruptive a few times, but that's been now 3 times in the last 3 minutes that Hutton's been the one knocking it out of bounds in a battle with Jonas Monroe for the defensive rebound. So Mount A now will have the ball and the lead. You've got to think that Crandall's going to come out and try and pressure the young guards, the backcourt of the Mounties. Hager and Boara, both true freshmen. You got veterans besides, but those 2 guys are your lead ball handlers. So you figure 24.5 on the clock. You got Hutton and you got Culberson, 2 really good ball hawks. You got to figure they're going to extend and try to make Hager and Boara get it over the half. And then, do you try to create a trap before you foul? They can't dribble things out. Monroe, clever, gets it to Mumberket in the front court, and they foul right away. Yeah. So you couldn't really wait around too long. You could probably have given it, if you had it on the side, if they'd pushed it up the sideline and you could send a trap, maybe you wait and try to create a turnover before fouling. But Mumberket now only 1 for 4 at the line today, not like him. But this is a big moment, and he gets it to go. Oh, yeah, you got to love these guys that rise to the occasion. Lance for a 3-point lead. Gets the roll. Big free throws for Mumberket. And the lead is 3 now for the Mounties. Now do you go back to that matchup zone, or pardon me, that 3-2 zone that has done a good job keeping their prolific 3-point shooters. They don't have a ton, but, McIntosh has made, well, let's look at the 3-point shooting. All right, let's take a look here now at the 3-point shooting as I refresh my page here. So, yeah, only 6 for 26 on the night is Crandall. Now, you don't need a 3 right away. You can. You can push, for a quick 2, then foul. So we'll see how this is played. Mount A could just sit back in their zone. Okay. And funnel everything towards the 2. But the risk you have here, and it's always such a risk, is, yeah, you want to get out, you don't want to let them shoot an open 3. But if you extend too far and you give them an easy, quick 2, then you're right back in the position, 1-point lead, needing to break a press, 15 or 13 or whatever on the clock. So you want to make sure. So it looks like they're playing man. They skip a pass over to Del Bosco. Plays catch. Del Bosco gets it out to Culberson. They're hunting a 3. They don't need one, but they're hunting one. And it's going to come back to haunt them, I think. Mount A secures that board. And Jonas Monroe's going to have 2 chances to give him a 2-possession lead here with 7.3 on the clock. I don't know. If I'm Crandall, you had multiple chances at a 2 there that would have brought it down to a 1-point lead. You still had a chance to foul. So I'm questioning. I don't know whether Coach McKillop told them, let's run stuff for a 3. It's got to be a 3. I can't imagine that with 20 seconds left. In and out and in again. Monroe. Big one. Again. For your Mounties. He hadn't made one at the line all night. We'll see if the 2. Yeah, Monroe and Mumberket, M&M. 4 big free throws in the last 30 seconds. And Mount A is going to even their record 1-1 on the season with a big win over the Trans-Canada rivals, Crandall Chargers, 73. Mount A with a big one. Even in that record at 1-1. As the fans wave a hearty and healthy goodbye to the Crandall Chargers. And this rivalry is heating up. It's going to be a hot one this year. I can tell that one was hotly contested. A lot of chatter between players, between refs and coaches, between coaches and benches, between benches and players on the floor. So that was a lot of fun, fans. I'm glad you can join me for this doubleheader today, and I hope you join me for a doubleheader tomorrow, 12 o'clock against the Seawolves of UMBSJ on the girls' side, and then a big one, 2 p.m., the defending champs of the league, the UMBSJ Seawolves against your Mount Allison Mannies. I'm Dave Tingley. Thanks for joining us on ACAA.tv. Now go and seek out those games in the Mount, fans. Support the league. We'll talk to you tomorrow.